Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. It's Victoria. Let's jump into your reading. Let's see what's going on. What does your spirit team need you to know right now? Yeah, let's just do a little energy check. What's going on? What's going on? Isn't that a song or something? All right. I'm going to use the White Newman deck. Oh, okay. Starting off with the Wheel of Fortune. Hold on, what flipped over? Temperance. Ooh. There could be a Sagittarius here. So Leah. Someone's name could be Leah. Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio. So that could be one of your 3 signs. Oh gosh, okay. Wow. Here, I'm trying to shuffle. Two more. Okay, well. Okay. Make sure that you guys can see this. See these cards. Okay, perfect. All right. Let us take a look. Okay, so this is giving me the energy of like cutting out some bullshit and being patient with some type of results here. Someone here could have ended or had a friendship ended. I don't know if this is like, because with the yellow flowers here on the side, it just makes me think of friendship. You know, the symbolism behind yellow flowers is usually about friendship. And when I see here with the Queen of Swords, the way she has, she's very, very poised. She's not completely, I don't want to say she's not relaxed in her seat, but you can tell that she's not reclined in her seat. She is upright. She's at the edge of her seat as well. And her head's kind of turned to the side. So the eyes are low, head's turned to the side. And even here in this one with the dagger, she has a dagger and a pendulum. So someone here could also be into divination. And maybe you do use a pendulum in your divination here. So, I don't know if that could also be like saying that could be a good way to contact your spirit team or to get some clarification if you have like specific answers. Maybe using a pendulum or adding a pendulum into your practice might be beneficial to you. But I am getting like Sagittarius vibes as well. So you could be Sagittarius sun, moon, or rising here. It doesn't have to be. Just give me a second. Let me tap in real quick. I think this is talking about getting yourself out of conflicting situations. I mean, even with the 8 of Swords in reverse, I think it did take you some time as it's under the Temperance here. It could have taken you some time to learn these hard life lessons. Maybe even with 5 of Wands in reverse, it's giving me the impression here, the energy here of no longer stepping into action in situations that don't involve you. Maybe this was something that you did in the past. Maybe you had a lot of emotions to express, or there were certain instances where you did give, you know, unsolicited advice here, or you just put yourself in scenarios that did not turn well for you, and you did it knowingly. Like maybe this was like a energy of, oh, well, you know, you only live once, or, well, you know, I know this is bad for me, but I'm enjoying it right now. Future me will worry about this. I'll let future me worry about this. And then it gets to future you and you're like, why did I make that decision? Why did I make that choice? Or like being like, oh, I should not have done that. Like, what was I thinking? Or, you know, seeing something, what do they say? Like hindsight's 20/20. So it's like looking back at it, you're like, oh, yeah, the signs were all there and I didn't see it, or I ignored the signs. I think even here with the Four of Pentacles, a lot of the times with the Four of Pentacles, it can talk about greediness, the way that they hold on to them. But with this deck specifically, with the White Newman deck, this is giving me more of a stability. It's balance. Like this is making me think of light chakras. So like your chakras being aligned. There's something here where you have gained control over a situation, or just control over yourself with situations, right? Again, it's just, it's giving me, maybe this is even talking about like let's use gossip, for example. If you in the past used to, like if you heard something, you know, like if you have like someone coming around the corner, it's like, ooh, what are you guys talking about? Wait, what's going on? Like, what's going on over here? I want to know the details. Like, give me the cheese, man. Like, I think this is, you finally have realized that no longer benefits you. I think there was some type of epiphany here as well. You see with the sun right by her crown. So it's like an enlightenment of perspective, an enlightenment of Queen of Swords, like decision making overall. And I think that you have with the Ace of Cups here on the side, it's like you having a new way of looking at things now, or a new way of even perceive. I don't know. Let me see. Can I get a clarification on the Ace of Cups? I mean, this could also talk about connection here with all the hands here. Like the way you connect with people is different now. Maybe you did try to fit in to certain spaces here. What was that? High Priestess. I mean, if that wants to come out, it can come out. But what was the other one? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the other one. I think it was the Two of Wands. Yeah, you're more in this High Priestess energy right now. Hey, maybe some of you are like gaining more knowledge on divination as well, because that is coming through up here with the pendulum. And High Priestess here, you could be considered a High Priestess or a High Priest. You carry knowledge over something. Okay, well, I just need one card to clarify Ace of Cups, please. One card, please. Oh, why is so many cards coming out? Strength is standing out to me. So again, some of you could be a Leo. Doesn't have to be. Or you just carry a lot of like traits of like a lioness. Lioness. I say more of a lioness because lionesses are the ones that are more active. They're the ones that do the hunting. They're the ones that, I mean, if you look up the behaviors of lions, a lot of the time it's the lionesses that are pretty much running things. Four of Cups with Ace of Cups. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I just think you don't, this is giving me more of like an apathy. Like you don't care to involve yourself in these things anymore. You kind of have seen, maybe there was certain subconscious reasons that you would interject or put yourself in certain scenarios or put yourself in certain conversations. I feel like it was inauthentic. There could have been something here where you did have a little bit of inauthentic connections, like inauthentic conversations trying to, maybe that is also what this is talking about. It's like you tried to connect to people in an inauthentic way, and you're no longer doing that. You're no longer, not sacrificing, but I guess hiding parts of yourself or suppressing parts of yourself. Okay. How to explain this? This is giving me more the feeling, it's like if you, let's take a very stereotypical, like high school clique type of setting, right? It's like that scenario where you try to hang out with the popular crowd, even though you don't like any of the things that they like. You're not interested in the interests that they have, but you put on this persona, you put on this personality, you act a certain way so that you can kind of fit in with this group, within this dynamic here, to expand the connections. Like maybe you just really wanted some friends here. Maybe you wanted to make friends. Maybe you wanted to find a good like partnership or your soul family here, but it's like you weren't being genuinely you. You were not connecting with yourself. That's where the disconnect was with yourself. And I think over time, maybe this was like a lesson, like a hard lesson to learn, especially with temperance here, can sometimes be like slow and steady, right? For me, sometimes temperance can be slow and steady. This is something that did take a lot. Maybe this is something that happened over years. Maybe you're in your 30s, 40s here, late 20s, and you're now just learning this lesson, right? Or it's like you feel like you repeated, and the lesson never stuck. But now you do see with clarity. You do see things in a different perspective. I think it's all also talking about, especially with the High Priestess here, tackling those subconscious traits about yourself, or tackling those subconscious thoughts, rewiring your brain, rewiring your mentality on connections. Maybe you just struggled throughout your life with relationships. Doesn't matter if it's like romantic or friendship here. I do feel like there is some type of struggle that you had with connecting with others on a genuine level, like you being yourself, you being completely 100% yourself, could have difficulty connecting with other people. So maybe someone here has maybe you have like social anxiety. You know, this could be talking about like social anxiety. You could be like very extremely introverted here. Like the thought of connecting with new people is frightening, or maybe that was how it was for you in the past. But with the Wheel of Fortune being your first card, I do think that this is representing a turning point, because you have cut out all these toxic things from your life. You have cut off the toxic way of thinking, or you have let yourself feel certain emotions, feel like yourself. I don't know. This is like giving me like you have the freedom to express yourself in a way that you hadn't before when it comes to certain friendship dynamics, or express like interests that you're actually interested. Maybe you're now talking about like what you like. Like there's no embarrassment, there's no shame in expressing the things that you like any longer. And here, how she has like one foot. I can't tell if this is water, if this is fabric, but it just gives more of that relaxed vibe that we're talking about, right? So I do think that there could still be a little bit of like walls up around you, especially with how I said that she's kind of at the edge of her seat. So there is this caution when it comes to new connections, new relationships. However, I do feel like because you're open now, you're able to have that discernment. You're able to see more clearly like who you fit well with, right? Who is going to fit well in your energy, who you are actually going to connect with on a spiritual level and not just a surface level. You know, this is giving me more of like having a deeper spiritual connection, not just like, you know, small talk, gossip, talking about the weather. Like, this is more of like you're finding connections here that really have meaning for you. And vice versa. I do feel like, especially with the High Priestess, like you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom that you can share to others. Excuse me. Also, I just realized her chi-chi's out. That might be... YouTube might not like that. Let's get a little bit more though. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me flip these. That's a blank card. Okay. What else does the collective need to know? Holy Spirit. Archangel Michael coming through. What lights your spirit up and how can you incorporate it into your daily routine? Ooh. That's too many. Hold on. Okay. You are transforming beautifully. Some of you might be life path 8, or 8 is, I'm also seeing infinity sign. But 8 is also, I mean, Wheel of Fortune, a turning point, right? Massive change, or massive change in the way that you go about something. Don't let your nerves get the best of you. Again, this is talking about like you might really have social anxiety here, right? The thought of connecting with new people can be frightening. I think you're switching up certain things in your daily routines. With the clocks here, the little times, this is making me think that you're fitting things into your schedule. You are giving yourself time to acclimate to these new routines that you have. You're giving yourself, even with the temperance here, right? I feel like this is a slow progression. Definitely a slow progression here. Like, this is not something that's going to resolve itself overnight. It's not something that's going to be easy. This is going to require work. And maybe this is talking about inner work. You know, maybe you have like very extreme anxiety to a point that you do have to speak to a professional, right? Like, if it is something that affects your relationships, then this is something that you have made the decision, like the conscious decision to change, to transform, so that you can elevate in your path. Because I do believe, I'm feeling here that you are calling in soul family. If you're not already surrounded, like if this isn't like a past thing that you've had to go through, and that you've reached like you are starting to meet people that you connect with more, this is giving me the feeling like if you haven't reached that point yet, you are calling these people in with these changes that you're making, with these actions that you're taking for yourself, to better your mental health, your health overall. Like, you are shifting things in your life, and that has been coming up a lot, not just in my readings, but I know that it's like collectively, like a lot of people are making like a lot of big changes for their life, like overall, like lifestyle. Let's get some more. Since we're talking about connections, I want to do this one. Criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. Again, going back to that gossip. So not being yourself. Maybe you were very critical in the past. Maybe you criticized certain people, or you nitpicked at certain people to fit in, or maybe people criticized you very heavily. And that's kind of like where that fear of connecting with others stems from, right? Like maybe you were heavily bullied in the past. Maybe you just were around a lot of negative people, like energy draining. A lot of transformation here. And I do believe like it could feel very quick as well. Like your spirit team is very heavy in this process. Because this is going to be more like if friends from your past were to see like you now, they would feel like, how the heck? Like, who is this? Who is that person? That's not who I knew. That's not the person I knew. They're totally different. Beware of what you are projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. Yes, a lot of internal... Definitely you were projecting in the past. So someone here could have really been involved in gossiping and critiquing others. You could have been in a group that was just like, I'm seeing Mean Girls, like the Burn Book. I don't know if this is like you did talk a lot of shit about people in the past. And maybe you became aware that you were projecting a lot of your own insecurities and issues onto these people. Or maybe again, it was flip it if you need to flip it. If you were the one getting bullied, a lot of the bullying was projection from others onto you. And if there was bullying in the past, these people, if they see where you are now, there could literally be one person who is from the past that is either on your social media, or they are just able to access like where, like they are able to see how you're doing right now. And for them, that would be like the biggest shock to like see the complete difference that has happened, the transformation that has taken place. Maybe even a little bit of what's that word? Feeling a little bit indignant, or like this person could not be out of that mentality yet. Like they still probably heavily criticize, gossip about others, project onto others. They're still very passive aggressive. I was gonna say rude, but I feel like this energy that's coming through is more of like a passive aggressive, where they make like little snide comments, or it's like, you know what people's like, if they critique your style or your fashion, and be like, oh, you know, that's so you. That's definitely you, like you, but in a condescending manner. I do think that there was a moment for you where you did have to take a big look at your own reflection in whether that be a physical or a metaphorical sense. It's like you did have to do a lot of internal searching. So Virgo energy, someone here could be a Virgo, doesn't have to be, but there was a lot of introspection, I should say. Let's do one more from this deck. I think this is also talking about how for someone here, you no longer let your nerves get the best of you, because I think you are in this Queen of Swords energy where you've cut out a lot of the bullshit, a lot of the... You could have also been surrounded by certain triggers as well. You did like an overhaul in your life. I don't know what this is referring to, but I feel like there is something that was released here. And it's like you had to do a complete 180. You had to really look at your actions here, your thoughts. Like, I'm just seeing, like, you know, in old movies and stuff or old science books, they would like dissect a frog or whatever. It's like you had to dissect something, whether it be the situation or yourself, like the actions or the thoughts you were having. It's like you really had to dissect. Friendship, yes. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship, and your love life will dramatically improve. I do, and this is not just like a friendship, this is like love deck as well. But I do feel this is talking overall about like the relationships overall in your life. And maybe that's where, if you were trying to find love, you could have like completely been blocking your blessings because you were not only surrounding yourself with the wrong people, but you yourself were making the wrong decisions, following in the wrong footsteps. Like you could have definitely, instead of falling into the leader position that you're meant to be in, that you were meant to be, which you could be at that point right now, especially with the High Priestess coming out. I think in the past, maybe you did kind of like follow, you know, I'm hearing Simon Says. So if like someone told you to do this, it's like you wanted to fit in, you wanted to, I don't know, be that person that they expected you to be in some way. And it could have definitely blocked your blessings when it came to like romance. So maybe you yourself were unhealed, right? Like you were contributing to a lot of just low energy type of conversations, a lot of low energy actions, especially if you were yourself like mean-spirited. You could have been mean-spirited in the past, you know? Or you just were surrounded by a lot of mean-spirited people. So take it how it resonates. And I'm not here judging. I'm not here to be like, oh, you're just a terrible person. Like if you did this, this, and that. Like, listen, every single person on this planet has done something that they're not proud of. That's just human nature. We literally will make mistakes. We made mistakes in the past. We're going to make mistakes in the present, and we're going to continue to make mistakes in the future. That's just the reality that we live in. But if you constantly beat yourself up about it, if you're constantly like digging yourself in a hole or refusing to acknowledge the mistakes that you made and learn from them, then yeah, there's cause for concern, and there's cause to be like, you need to like dig a little deeper. But when you learn your lessons, when you see that there's consequences to your actions that are negative, right? That negatively impact you or impact others, that is the time to reflect and be like, oh, I need to really sit back for a moment, check myself, and learn from this experience so that it doesn't happen again in the future, right? So I do think that there's something about like with that energy that's kind of coming out here. So I do think right now you're in the energy where you're more conscious of who you let in your space, the friendships that you make, the romantic partners that you're going to accept into your life, right? Cormorant. Non-judgmental love. Look lovingly at the one in front of you. Yes, it's no longer being judgmental. It's taking yourself out of that space, that headspace of just like critiquing or criticizing everything and everyone. Falcon, light bearer. Yeah, Archangel Michael is heavy in this reading as well. Oh my God, just as I say that. Blessing. It just made me think of wings and angels. But Falcon, light bearer, golden messages reach you. Be ready for personal accomplishment. So I think if you haven't gotten to that space, like I said before, if you haven't gotten to that space where you are feeling confident or feeling like you've gotten out of that mentality, this is the message for you to really take the time to reflect inwards on whether or not you are projecting onto others, whether or not the actions that you're taking are negatively impacting not just yourself, but others as well. And make the necessary changes to transform your life for the better, right? And honestly, I do feel like you guys have already done that. I don't feel like this is a present, like this, as it's saying, you are transforming beautifully. You are transforming, not you are going to transform. You are transforming now beautifully. Okay. And if you're giving yourself, and this is going to be, it's not going to be a path, especially if you're doing like a lot of, if you're in therapy, if you're working with a professional, healing is not linear. You know, it's not going to be like, oh, you know, I went to therapy and I'm so healed. I feel 100% better. I'm totally fixed after like 2 sessions. Like, no, babe, like it takes work. It's progression. It is a journey that you are on, and it could be difficult right now. It's the tides is changing. It's a little bit unsteady on the feet at first, especially if you're so used to acting or being a certain way. If you're so used to hiding, suppressing certain parts of yourself, or acting, you know, there's certain patterns, habits that we do. When it's repeated, it becomes a part of who we are, right? But I do think, and this was even coming up in the last reading, it's like there's certain habits that you're changing about yourself. Even this is tying into what lights your spirit up and how can you incorporate it into your daily routine. You're making little changes daily that is really going to be so beneficial when it comes to these relationships that are going to be coming into your life. Even romantically, if you have a romantic partner, like this is someone that was called into your life, like after you did this sort of healing, or after you initiated this sort of reflective energy, this sort of introspection here. And again, if you're single, you're calling in someone on the same frequency as you. You're not going to be calling in someone on that mean, low vibrational type of energy that you were at prior. Let's do one final message. One final message here, Holy Spirit, for the collective. Final message here for them. Whoa, hold on. That flew out. Ooh. Oh, the stork. Renewal, growth, purity. Happy days lie ahead. So yeah, if you feel like you're not growing, or it's taking slow, like it's taking too slow, or you feel like you should already be, you know, let's just say like levels ahead, right? Like I'm just going to use like a video game, an example. Like maybe you feel like it's taking way too long to beat this boss, right? Like maybe you have to get from level 1 to level 2, you have to beat like the final boss, right? But you know, maybe you used up all your lives and you keep having to restart, and it's like, you know, when that screen comes up, if like you lose all your hearts in a video game, and then it comes like the restart, like try again, and you have to restart from the beginning of the level instead of at like the last checkpoint that you were at. It's like maybe there's that feeling of like you have to restart something. It's like, oh, okay, no, back to square one. I have to re-look at this. Where is this coming from? Why am I... It's like you're questioning certain things. You're really... Some of you could really be grilling yourself as well. Or just if you are in therapy, or there's certain like homework that you're doing, it could be a little bit challenging right now, okay? It could be really challenging and could possibly even be triggering for some of you, but I think that you're working through that with a professional. And if there are a lot of things that are triggering, you're not with the professional, if you have the ability to and you are able to, I do think Spirit is encouraging you to seek out help. But again, do your own... We're all adults here. Everyone is going to make the choices that they make. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just giving the messages that Spirit is putting forth, and picking and reading the energy, picking up on the energy here. I just don't know why. I just feel like with this growth, it's a little bit painful. It can be a little bit painful. It's like the jagged edges, right? I'm just seeing the image of a rose, but there's thorns to it. Like the rose is beautiful. There's beauty, you know, when a rose blooms, but you have to be careful because there are thorns that can prick you. And roses, they bloom very slow. Like, this is just giving me the energy that it's a slow progression. I'm going to end this reading because I just feel like I'm repeating myself at this point. But I think slowly but surely, you're reaching a point where you will feel very satisfied and happy with the relationships that you have in your life, with the connections that you make. Even if it's like a small group, right? If you're not like a super social person, if you're not extremely, like if you're not extroverted, or you find yourself to be very introverted and you don't really like going out, or you're not super communicative in that way, like you do like really enjoy your alone time, I don't think that that's bad at all. Of course not. This is more of like the fact that you are finding, even if you have just one friend, it's going to be a real connection. It's going to be a genuine, sincere connection, a spiritual connection, and it's going to feel so much different than the ones, like the relationships and friendships you had in the past. And not saying that your friends, I'm not saying like like all the friends you had in the past is just shit. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Like, we all have something to offer, right? Every single person has something to offer each other on the journeys that we have. But I think overall, like, you just really haven't experienced that real soul connection. Someone who really truly appreciates who you are, not what you can do for them, not what, you know, they can do for you. It's very sincere, this connection. Like the friendships, it's a very soul family. Like, you're calling in your soul family here. Friendship, romantic, you're calling in people on your vibration. Now that you have worked on yourself and really picked yourself up even, right? I'm just, it could have been a struggle. It really could have been a struggle for you. But yeah, that's what I'm getting here. Don't be dismayed if it's taking a little bit. Like, if you feel like your healing journey is slower than others, you're still progressing, my love. Like, this is still growth, no matter how small it may feel to you. Growth is still growth. You know, if you plant a flower, it's not gonna just bloom overnight. You know, it still has to sprout. It has to take root. Like, there's a process to it, okay? You don't just put the seed in and then there's like a beautiful bloom the next day. It takes time. And you yourself are blooming right now, and it just takes a little bit of time. So yeah, that's what I'm getting for you guys. I hope that was helpful or insightful or entertaining at the very least. Please give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel if this did resonate for you. And I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, evening, wherever you're at. Also, communicate with Archangel Michael if you have a connection to Archangel Michael, because like, they're coming through very heavily in this reading. Like, I'm still getting the sometimes I don't want to say Archangel Michael can be like intimidating, but it's a very strong presence. If you work with Archangel Michael, you know what I'm talking about. It's very heavy. So I do think Archangel Michael wants you to call on him more, or be more expressive in what you're asking for, if you're asking for certain things. Or yeah, I think just being specific. So yeah, have a beautiful day or evening wherever you're at. I love you guys so much. Stay healthy, hydrated, and blessed. And I hope you're treated as you treat others. Bye.